All right, so one of the things that drives me nuts, you always want to write your description about your home to draw in the buyers, obviously, when you're a listing agent, right? So I think one of the things that are overused, a lot of things are overused, sorry, but one of the things that's overused is fully renovated. Mm-hmm. A paint job's not fully renovated. When you show up and they painted the walls, that's not fully renovated, right? We're talking floors and cabinetry, and there's so many other things to do in a house to fully renovate a home. I went on 4 showings last week with a client. Every single one of them started the listing description with fully renovated. And of the 4, I don't think one of them were fully renovated. I think the most any of them had done was paint. Paint is not fully renovated. Just a pet peeve that drives me nuts.
Well, to add to that, when you see the fully renovated, what they're not saying is they did it in 1998.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So, the house might be 70 years old and the kitchen might not be original, but it's still 20 years old.
Yeah.
And we see that all the time, which I think, you read about it in the description, and then your client shows up for their showing, and yes, they can tell from the pictures, maybe it's not quite as fresh as they're selling it to be. But when you get there and it presents basically like an old house that needs a renovation, you can't call it renovated.
No, and I mean, I understand you're not going to write in the description, hey, this is a 20-year-old kitchen, right? But at the same time,
don't boast about it.
You got to be specific about the features of the home that are beneficial. And I agree. We show up at houses all the time, and we have it on the listing side too. I mean, I had clients that'll call and they'll say, listen, or they'll say, our house has been fully renovated. We've done everything in our house. Yes, you've done everything in your house from when you bought it from the builder in 1983. You've eventually changed everything. But unless the renovation was done in the last 18 to 24 months, it's lost most of that value of at least the term, calling it, fully newly renovated.
Especially if they've gone with any finishes that are really on trend at any given point in time. Like the shelf life on that tends to be a bit shorter.
Yep.
If they went with something fairly neutral, you might be able to, push that 24-month envelope a little bit, but not much.
So, I mean, it comes down to a lot of the things that we deal with. I always tell people, especially when I'm dealing with a seller, right? You're selling your home, so they have a lot of emotional attachment to a lot of things in the home. But buyers coming in are not buying their home; they're buying their house.
Right.
And there's a difference.
And that buyer will make it their home.
Exactly.
Likely with some changes.
Right. The home comes with emotion. The house is bricks and mortar.
Yeah.
And that's where, trying to get people to see that. So it's good when you're working with somebody to buy and sell a home, because as you're out looking at things, it kind of opens their eyes a little more to the reality of what's happening in the market today.
Yeah. Sometimes they conclude the house they're already in is better than most of the options out there.
That happens a lot too.